Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody is not aware of this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is to try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for as little as $9 a month and also get access to an exclusive in-depth strategy video, information is available in the description below. In the previous video we looked at ticker symbol ABCT. This was a new stock to the channel, so please refer back to this stock analysis in the previous video, which made some tremendous gains. It has had a pullback today. In today's video we're going to do an update on ticker symbol MMAT and also an important update on ticker symbol MMTLP, so stay tuned for that. Let's first of all have a look at what's happening in the markets. So headline here, 1st of September 2022, Paul Pelosi dodged an extra 20% loss selling Nvidia stock in July before the August US restrictions. So obviously there has been a backlash, but let's have a look at what Unusual Whales have posted today. So what they have said here is the Pelosi's reported selling before the Chips Plus bill, which was passed, there was a loss of 241,000. But if they had sold yesterday, the position would have been down a further 20%. So 20% of 241,000, we're looking at approximately an additional loss of maybe $70,000 to $80,000. So basically, Nancy and Paul Pelosi sold all of their 25,000 shares of Nvidia 27th of July, well before this date. Nvidia is now down, so the question is, did they know? Well, certainly she must have known, but the question is, obviously, did she share this information with her husband? I think her position is no. Her position is husband and wife do not talk about this, but it's an extremely coincidental maneuver which has played out quite well in their favor, but not in favor of the investors. So let's start by having an update on ticker symbol MMAT Metamaterials. So there was an Form 8K filing, so let's have a look at this 8K filing. Unfortunately, it wasn't good news, it was bad news. So item 3.01 at the bottom, the company received a notice of delisting or failure to satisfy a continuing listing rule or standard transfer of listing. So what this basically means, in accordance with the NASDAQ listing rules, what the company has done is obviously traded at a price below $1 for a significant amount of time. So the company have now been given notice and they have been given a period of 180 days up until February the 21st, 2023 to regain compliance. So what do they need to do to regain compliance? What they need to do is they need to meet or exceed $1 per share for a minimum of 10 consecutive business days during this 180-day period. So that does not mean they must continue to be trading over the $1 mark. They must only trade over the $1 mark for a minimum of 10 days. Obviously, as investors, we would like a price much more than the $1. But going forward, I think certainly George has tweeted to say there is not going to be a reverse split in the stock. So what this basically means, hopefully this time George is fairly confident and can deliver on the company rebounding. And obviously the other thing that we have in terms of a catalyst coming forward, it will be the next quarterly earnings, and we're hoping there will be a significant growth in the quarterly earnings. But let's now have a look at how the markets reacted. So as soon as this news broke, I did carry out a post here, and what I did post is that George said there will be no reverse split. Bad news was announced today, so we're talking about yesterday here. However, in response to this bad news, what happened in terms of the market, it was something completely unexpected. We have a significant bounce in Metamaterials, 7.4%. We also have a significant bounce in MMTLP. So we can see here, headline from Seeking Alpha, Metamaterials bounces off its 52-week low despite NASDAQ compliance warning. So this was quite unusual. So there is been a response here from George Mendonca. So what George has come up with an interesting theory of why we saw this bounce. So what he stated here with regard to some figures, and these figures are with regards to dark pool. So let's see what George has said. He said early trading today, dark pool was at 78%. We were trading out around about 77 cents. Price started to go up as the dark pool went down, only 58%, certainly not a coincidence. So let's have a look at the figures George Mendonca has provided here, and right at the top we can see the figure off exchange. He is quite right, it is 58%, volume just in excess of 3 million. So whether this is a reason for the bounce in the metamaterials, we're not sure, but certainly looks very, very suspicious. The other thing I have been keeping an eye on with regard to ticker symbol MMTLP is the situation with Canada. So I'm going to give a shout out here to Marduk, the Meta guy, and he's just posted here an hour ago at time of editing. Canadian still here holding his Series A preferred shares in this registered account. No, it wasn't auto liquidated. So that's good news. However, with regard to the issues with the Canada stocks, that was a different issue. But the vast majority of people in Canada holding the Series A preferred shares should not have any issues. The issue with regard to some people in Canada who are holding the stock in a retirement account was something I think that probably created some of this concern. So that's something that we will address later on. The final thing I want to talk about with regard to ticker symbol MMTLP and the Series A preferred share, and as well as that, the sale of assets from NextBridge into a potential buyer. I'm sure many of you are aware that the price of oil is currently going through a bearish phase, as there is a potential deal on the cards with Iran. But what has also been happening in the markets is a natural gas price has jumped. So this is very, very close to all-time high. So if we have a look at this article here from Reuters, dated August 31st, 2022, we can see that as natural gas prices jump, shale oil firms get gassy. So this is also good news. So with regard to the assets, gas is not something that has been heavily focused on. So remember, the assets do include oil, they do include gas. We know oil recently was achieving all-time high prices, but right now it is in a little bit of a decline. I do expect oil to recover soon, but right now what we are seeing is a bullish phase in the market for gas. So let's see what else we can see with regard to with this article. So second paragraph down here, we can see the result is an earnings bonanza for companies that once shunned the fuel as an annoying byproduct. US benchmark natural gas prices in late August topped $10 per million British thermal units, a level not seen since 2008. So we're looking at recent all-time highs. And the other thing in the article with regard to potential good news for the potential sale of assets, further down we can see with regard to the subheading below, cashing in, the largest US independent oil producer ConocoPhillips reported last quarter that it sold natural gas for an average of $10.15 per million cubic feet, up 143% from a year ago. So this is going to give the company staggering revenue. It's also going to take the company into significant profit. But on this occasion, because the company does not break out profit contribution from gas, because obviously I'm sure they also have significantly higher expenses, but certainly going forward, the company is in a much more positive situation. And finally, at the end, we can also see another company, Cheapskate Energy, which in 2019 spent nearly $4 billion to buy an oil producer, now plans to sell the property and become a pure play gas company. So there is a huge demand here for gas going forward. The world is going through difficult times, and companies like Conoco that do not hedge gas production are getting the benefits of strong US prices. So certainly very bullish here from the point of view of potential sale of assets. And finally, if anybody would like to get access to our daily stock alerts as well as our weekly watch list and join us in the challenge, you can certainly join our Discord for little as $9 a month. This will also give you access to live trading discussions and the opportunity to ask questions live. So finally, thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.